Good morning, and it is the 2nd day of April 2019. My name is Derek. This is the Money Charts channel. Let's take a look at traditional markets. I've already done a video this morning about a bonus Bitcoin video. I did a bonus one last night looking at, wow, this thing could break out, and well, Bitcoin did. And then just recapping the breakout. And I'll talk more about Bitcoin later in the afternoon. But for now, let's take a look at gold. Let's take a look at silver. Let's take a look at platinum. Let's take a look at palladium. Let's take a look at the Dow Jones Industrials and two stocks. And I have no idea what they are. I'm just going to take whatever, the largest gainer and the largest loser that I find on this TradingView site. And we'll go from there. All right. As it's playing on gold, there's not much going on. Yeah, yesterday's session had a little bit of a down move, and that's the key word. It was just a little bit of one. We're still continuing to consolidate really for the entire year at the current lower end of this range, and still a small amount of points, about $6 to go to this lower end of previous support that it quite hasn't hit as of yet. And on the single hour time frame, there's just not much going at all. It's been spending the last couple of days, hours rather, amongst the 18 average of highs. Maybe it's able to have a breakout above to the end up above here. If it does, that would be one of the attempts to break out. And the last time it tried to state that it was attempting to do so here, but it obviously failed the 18 afterwards here, and it just was unable to get going after it came down and found support. Okay, moving on to silver. And if there's a request on currency, you want the metals for the Wednesday video on the precious metals, I will put that in. If on default, it will be Canada. Silver, this is the hour time frame, so it's just grinding its way lower on this way, having a test of this previous support. This can be concerned as a cup and handle on an inverted side, as we have this rally in here. So this whole move, then the move here, we have this lower high reach of previous low. If this breaks down below here, we'd be looking for this thing to at least retrace down at least a half a dollar, I would suppose. But again, until the shorter term, and again, until this thing can, don't know why I said it again, until we can see this have a move on a shorter term time frame attempt to get above this like 18 in here. And even then, just attempting doesn't mean it's going to succeed. But obviously, there's nothing to state that the Bulls are in control for today. Right now, the bias would be down, but nothing strong. Now, in the view of Palladium, that's showing a different sign on its single hour. For it had this bottom in here at this March 28th period, rallying up, establishing a major level of resistance at about 1396. Did not come back to it, although actually it came up to 1398, and it looked like it technically did come back to it. Okay, so it comes up to this level, hits like a lot of these little small nothing hours. But what I like about in technical analysis, when you see stuff like this, you have the move from point A to point B, low to high, and then we have this continuous sideways correction, supporting here, going a little lower in here. Keyword was that a little lower. A decent sized volatility here, and now we can see the that being a failed breakout with what has happened over the last couple of hours. So for today, I wouldn't be surprised if Palladium is poised for probably a good day. And if that's the case, maybe silver might end up doing okay. Maybe silver will just go sideways. Actually, I was looking at thinking about doing platinum first, but this is palladium. Palladium is it's more expensive than gold for 1424. And and I was thinking platinum too. But well, if platinum's going to go up, they work together usually. Platinum, gold, and silver. Palladium doesn't really work too well within those metals. Let's take a look at this on the daily chart, as this has been in a non-stop, outstanding, spectacular rally, and it's got some decent volatility along the way. From the 2018 lows, going from 840 up to 1600, almost that of a 2x move. Since then, and since then is only about a little over a week ago, although it looks like less because of the days off this has, but 1340 is the low, so it's already went down over 250, close to 300 points. That's over about 20%. Still has got a decent ways to go until it gets to its correctionary phase. But when you have all of this empty space that it managed to make in here, having a move below the 18 averages or breaking below it after having tremendous support for many occasions, and because it was many occasions you created this empty space, that at some point you're just bound to have a move like this. And when that happens, you can go to the more longer term charts like the weekly and the month and or the monthly, and see how most likely you'd see the weekly is supporting the 18, and the monthly is still above it. That's what it seems just by looking at this. And there we can see the weekly. And I didn't look at this in advance to know. I could just look at that chart and tell. And there we have it. So now we on this time frame, we're having its first correctionary move on here. And if the market can hold and stay within, say, like 1350 and under 1500, that's going to cause the 18 average to start to flatten out. But I've seen many occurrences where you have this amazing move, you have a fast red down to the lows, and then if you end up getting a nice green candle very quickly after that, if this is a tremendous week and price action can close in the full high 1400s or higher, this is a very strong setup that this rally we've had for point A low on August of 2018 has not reached point B high yet. And moving on now to platinum, which has got some nice choppy-ish kind of volatile movement, and choppy-ish because there's a nice clear uptrend here, decent downtrend here, but a lot of chances for this market to go back up and down, or rather it's going up and down, giving you chances to make interesting bets or wagers if one is to do such. And within this how this looks on the daily, it had a good rally up to this point in the end of February, a pullback which was a higher low than here, and it has then since created an uptrend line I'm not going to draw in. We've also a little bit of a downtrend line here, so since this high and since this low, things are symmetrical. A little bit of indecision. In cases like this, it looks relatively bullish going forward, because these situations oftentimes do usually reflect themselves within the current trend, and I do like the fact how these lower highs are pretty much almost matching highs, so it's like more of an ascending triangle kind of pattern as well. So definitely a lot of room to be optimistic. And by the way, while I'm thinking about it, what I was saying in here was that, yeah, the weekly we were having support on it, and that we would be well above the 18 highs here. Yeah, well enough. So going back to Palladium's very, very long term, it already had this. I mean, I'm just flipping back and forth, whatever. I wanted to show this chart, I totally forgot. And then I remembered, I'm like, yeah, I might as well bring it now while I remember. So it's gotten above this level of resistance at about 1,900 and $10 south of 1,100. Is this a big move from this low to this high? My answer is no. And I really do think that this is poised coming soon. Maybe not as the strong setup Bitcoin had last night, but long term, monthly chart, this is poised for a continuation of decent gains. I think I wouldn't be surprised if this goes closer to 24 to 25. And what stopped me from buying platinum and even palladium and even platinum if I wanted it is the taxes in Canada, where you don't have to pay taxes on gold and silver, as they basically consider it more of a monetary unit. And well, palladium should be in the exact same case, especially when the Canadian Maple Leafs or the Canadian Mint mints the 1 ounce coins. But it's like 12% extra fee on it. But when it was like well under $1,000, I was like, maybe I'm gonna pick up an ounce, and I almost did, but that's fine. Platinum again, back to platinum here. Monthly chart for platinum has been in a little bit of a decline. It's definitely not had the spark in which gold and silver has had, especially gold. As when we look at gold, this is the 2008 highs. Gold is a little bit below it. Silver is, excuse me, gold is above their 2008 highs. Silver is barely below its 2008 highs. And here we have the 2008 lows, which is where price action here were to go. The silver lows was under it was $8.5. The gold lows was, I think, a hair under 700. So definitely, I don't see anything too fantastic in here. Let's move on to the stock market. But before we do that, I want to go order of precious metals, dollar index, and then to the stocks. We've got continuing up moves within this, which goes to show you how much better the precious metal markets actually are when this is at a spot where it's at an upper area that it's had major tests with over the last few months. On the weekly chart, it's poising and ready to go. It looks okay. A-okay. If this looks ready for a breakout, getting above here, I'd be expecting this to go up to about 100 or higher. Now on to the Dow Jones, and this is delayed. It's actually about 60, 70 points lower. And as I'm doing this, the futures are down 87. So we're looking at 26,180 something, which is pretty much right where it already is. I'm up at this higher level. The market has had a phenomenal V-shaped formation, and then since the V-shaped pattern completed around January 28th and went higher, it broke that, what you call that neckline for that area, came back to this upper congestion area, had a support over about 3 days, correction with the 18 highs. And yesterday's session was breaking above it, really barely getting above this point in here. And if we're looking for further gate, I'd be looking for this to go up to 28.6. It's most certainly in that of an uptrend when we look at this on the weekly time frame, daily time frame. It's just phenomenal how this should be just ready, poised to go, and no reason to think that the bears are going to be having too much. Although short term, whereas the 18 average, we're looking at 25.8 or 25.9 area. So at 26,250, we could easily be looking at 350 point decline, and that's just bringing it back to this little area here. ADMA apparently is up 42%, so that is the top gainer that I have found. That's a biologic company, one of my favorites, and I'm kidding, I've never heard of them. And what we can see in here that I guess this is how live is this? I got 9:42 a.m. Okay, the market's live on here. That's cool. Maybe I should use SPY maybe for the stock market. I mean, why not? I guess I'll probably use SPY from here on in. Or yes, that's the S&P 500 instead of the Dow Jones. Because if it's going to be live this way, and I got the delayed on the Dow, I mean, what's the whole point? So from now on, yeah, I'm going to use SPY, maybe, whatever. And I might refer to other ones like the DIA. Okay. So this thing just gapped up higher. It had whatever news to sussify. And this is what really irks me. So the market closes at 410. It opens over 6. So who were the ones buying it up to this level? Who had sell orders at 450? Who had sell orders at 5? Who had sell orders at 565? And and if I'm in the type of trading that I like to do, and looking at this on the hourly term time, let's just assume that I end up buying here at 325. Okay, I'm going to put a sell order in for, say, 405. Okay, did that. And then I hit this down. I'm going to put a sell order in for $5, maybe 495. Would I have hit? And when would that have traded? I can't see it ever hitting on here. But anyway, throwing that part aside, daily term time frame, interesting move from the 2019 lows. I mean, it was coming back from areas on the lower end in here, but from this bottom here, it had a good rally, barely getting above the highs. Yes, it barely went below it, but it's not showing choppiness action because it's making higher highs and higher lows right now. Yes, it's going above, below, but when you can do so in a higher high, higher low format, then that's a bull market. And it's gotten above this significant level of resistance. Cryptos, I can always see things so perfectly at all the multiple time frames as I would need to see it. It really starts to only become more formidable when I look at things on the weekly time frame, and wow, what a move, as this is able to get back to a previous key area from where you came from. And now this is poised to potentially have good moves going forward. It's overextended on the short term in today's day trading. This could easily go down to like 450, 460, I would presume. Anything on the monthly to show more? Yes, there is. Break or resistance levels if it breaks, because when you break a key area, I'd expect this to at least to go probably up to about the high 8s, but even more realistically to around 10. Let's next take a look at what I see as a top loser on TradingView. And APYX, again in the A's. It is down. It's a medical corporation. It's down close to 40%. On the monthly term time frame, it is new. It is 4 months old, it looks like. It hasn't been doing so well from the start, but it's only lost half of its value. Weekly chart. And it started off doing okay, and obviously today is just probably not a good day. Again, I mean, every single one of these you can see how orders would fill, but I don't like and I know if I do these top losers and gainers every day, I'm pretty much going to see this every single time. That I may discontinue doing this at whatever point, I'm still not too sure. If you got a request for one stock, I'll do one per day. And whatever's on this comments for this, if I see one, that one will be up for the Wednesday video. And if there's two, then I'll choose one of them. So if you want two, if you're going to put two yourself, I'm going to pick one of the two you select. So if there's one you really, really want, just choose one. All right, so that will do it. I guess what else is there to say about this? I mean, this thing is just gap lower. If I was a gambling man and I'm just playing the numbers, I'm like, sure, what the heck, I'll buy. And then I'll just put my sell orders in. But I'd like to know how they work because, yeah, if I buy here at 624 and I had a buy order ready to go at, say, 5 even or 486, did I get my fill in then? I mean, how does that happen? And I'm not a stop loss kind of guy. But if I had a stop loss in at 567, how does that happen? Thank you for tuning in. And I don't trade it. I don't know. If you know the answers to it and you're a trader and you can let me know. I don't ever see me trading traditional markets until it ever can come on the blockchain. But until then, thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.